Hello! Welcome to Duncan Egg Bricks and to part 67 of my Hogwarts MOC series. I appreciate it's been a little while since I've done one of these Hogwarts updates, so thank you for your patience. As I said in my previous update, I am going to be doing some more of these in the near future. I've broken through some design problems that I was having, as well as life being quite busy, so now I'm able to get on and do some more Hogwarts building. This time, we're going to be building the Slytherin Common Room. Like I just said, there have been a few things that have kept me from designing in the recent past. Partly life has just been really busy. Work has been busy with lots of events and big things going on, which I've had to concentrate on, and Lego's had to take a bit of a backseat. But I have been working away and I finally got some solutions to some problems. Those problems mainly being ones of design and layout. If you watch my little quick update that I did not too long ago, then you'll know that I faced some challenges in where I was actually going to put the Slytherin Common Room. Initially it was going to be underneath where the Gryffindor Common Room was, but that wasn't quite working out for me. The main reason for that was that I actually needed more floor space than was actually available. I'm really trying to copy the Slytherin Common Room as seen in Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets, and I wanted to use as much space as possible and make it feel as livable as possible. And unfortunately that was being made quite tricky by the narrow space available. And I actually took the decision in the end, given the amount of space it was going to take up, to move where the Slytherin Common Room was based over to underneath the clock tower and the clock tower courtyard. Now, this is better for some reasons and not ideal in some others, in that it means that the common room can't actually be connected to the rest of the castle, because that bit is its own kind of rocky outcrop, which means that we won't have an actual opening door to lead into the rest of the castle. But I think that's a compromise that I'm willing to take, as it means that I can have the space that I want. One of the other problems was that I also wanted it to be able to support the clock tower and the clock tower courtyard above it. And that meant I had to design it to be nice and strong, which I hope I have done. So we will see whether that works, and if it doesn't, it might require a little bit of a redesign. The initial place where the Slytherin Common Room was going to be is now going to be where I'm moving the Philosopher's Stone challenges to, and I am actually moving the Potions classroom to where those challenges were. So things are being swapped around, and I am partway through designing those, along with making a few cosmetic adjustments. One of which is to take the style of rockwork and the way I've decorated it, which you'll see later in the video, and reapplying that to the rest of the castle. When I actually designed the other parts of the castle, I didn't do any kind of decoration, or I suppose you could call it greebling, to the rockwork, so I just left it as the blank dark bluish grey bricks, and then went back afterwards with my drawer of pieces and added some details. But I've actually come up with a new colour scheme which uses fewer colours, fewer pieces, and I think it makes the whole thing look a little bit more cohesive. So I'm going to go back through and reapply that to the rest of the castle. But enough about that. Today I'm going to build the Slytherin Common Room, and I'm actually going to go ahead and I'm going to build it in one go, and then I'm going to give you a tour through it, and then we're going to put it in place. So it'll only be a second for you, but it'll probably be a little while later for me. We'll have a finished Slytherin Common Room. It didn't take quite as long as I thought it might to get this finished, but it was a little bit of a fiddly process. Obviously there's no instructions for when I build things like this, so I do have to use my Bricklink studio file to actually go through and design all of the different elements, and then, you know, hide or remove various things so I can see the internal structure. But I have got to the point where it is all finished, and here it is in front of you. So I'll just turn it so you can see the full details inside. So yeah, I've really tried to study the look of this in the film, and then also use some inspiration from some artwork from things like Pottermore and various things that people have designed, and then also look at the Lego sets that we've had that actually represent this location, of which there's basically only been one, which was the Slytherin house banner. So what I've actually done is I've taken a bunch of details, some furniture, some elements, and in particular the sticker sheet for that, and used it for this, as well as a few other details of my own design. So let's start over here at what would be the entrance. So here we have the door to the Slytherin Common Room. As I mentioned in the first part of the video, it doesn't open because this is just a blank rock wall on the outside, which is a shame, but I'm still pretty happy with it. This design here, using the Ninjago snake head type piece, and then this arch and stuff on top of it. That's directly taken from the Slytherin Hogwarts Moment, or the Potions Hogwarts Moment set, which I've actually just kept around that piece of it for a while and managed to integrate it into this, which was really nice. Coming in, you then have a small armchair on the side here. This is directly inspired from the Hogwarts house banner, as are the sofas, but they're a little bit extended. Above that, you can see the first of the stickers from the house banner that I've applied here, which is a portrait of Snape. Very, well, slightly odd actually to keep a portrait of your housemaster in your actual common room, but there we are. They do love Snape in Slytherin, so he is there. And then coming around to this wall, I've applied another one of the stickers onto that panel piece there, just as a bit of detailing. We've got a bookcase there, that's just using a studs on the side technique, and there's actually a rail piece with a bit sticking out to make it look like a book has been pulled halfway out. Then on the back wall here, we've got yet another one of those stickers, which is a mirror, sort of antique finish. And this is a bit that I've tried to really replicate from the actual set in the Chamber of Secrets film. So we've got the mirror up there, and then we've got a globe, which is one of those printed minifigure heads. And then we've got some more studs on the side. They're just a bunch of plates in different colours. And then we have an inkwell and a quill there. And you'll see around the common room, there are a bunch of black chairs, each one of which has a 2x2 plate underneath, and they're just sat on 2x2 jumper plates. So that does mean that they can spin, although this one is actually right up against the sofa, so it can't do very much. Then coming into the middle of the common room, we have got the fireplace at the back. Again, I've tried to model this off the film version as much as possible, although that is a lot bigger and would have taken up much more height than I actually had space for in this common room. So I've kind of scaled it down a little bit, and then I have used the Slytherin sticker, again from that house banner set, to go on there. Got a candle on there as well, just as a bit of added detail. And then here we've actually got a skull, and though it does look like a minifigure head, it is actually a baby's head. It's a slightly morbid piece that we got in the hospital wing set a couple of years ago, where it's used as the top of a bottle of Skelligro. In the film, this is actually in a sort of glass case in the middle of the fireplace, but I wanted to put that there, and I thought this was a nice little nod to that. The reason I didn't go for a proper minifigure head is that they are wider than a brick, and I've only got a brick's worth of depth on this mantelpiece here, whereas the baby head is the same dimensions as a brick, so that fits perfectly there. The fireplace then just uses some of the standard sort of fire/plume pieces, and then one of these fence pieces as a fire guard in front of it. Then in the central area, we've got two sofas. As I mentioned, they are very similar to the technique used for the armchair over here. I've just lengthened them to 4 studs wide. Annoyingly, it still means you can only really fit one minifigure on them at once, due to the minifigure's arms getting in the way, but they do give the right kind of look, which is what I was going for. In the middle, we've then got a table, and this table and this carpet are actually quite important because they are what hold the base of the common room together. If I flip it up, you'll see that the main part of it is 2 16x16 base plates. Now, on some of my Hogwarts modules, I've used a row of tiles along the front here to actually connect these plates together, but I decided here I could do away with that. So we've actually got a 2x4 footprint underneath this table which holds them together, and then this 2x2 tile and these 1x3 tiles also lock everything together, so that's nice and solid, which is really good. At the end of the tables here, we've just got a couple of side tables, one with a goblet and one with a trans clear mug on them. They're a bit of artistic license to put those in there, but pretty happy with how they turned out. And then at the back here, this is again taken directly from the house banner, the Slytherin house banner set, and this is another detail that appears in the film, this bookcase. What I've done is I've used the stickers from that, so we've got this sticker here with what looks like a crystal ball, and then some sort of hunting horn, and then this looks a bit like the Hand of Glory, slightly illegal technique, as that minifigure hand wouldn't actually fit in there solidly. And then here is actually a sticker on a 1x2 brick sideways, which is of the Divination Hogwarts Moment book. Nice little Easter egg throughout some of those, the house banner sets, which actually have some of the Hogwarts Moment sets. Annoyingly, I don't think you can actually get a full set of stickers for those, because otherwise I really would have gone and chased those down. The fireplace and the bookcase, incidentally, are actually built into the wall. So for instance, the fireplace has a 2x6 plate which actually goes into the wall and keeps it locked in place, and the same is true of the bookcase over here. So for instance, this not this plate at the top, sorry, but there's a plate lower down which is actually locked into the wall, so I had to put that together as I built the wall. Keeps it nice and sturdy. In the corner, we've got the last of the stickers that I've used, and that looks like some sort of trophy, maybe for Quidditch. In fact, can you see what it's for? No, it just has a Slytherin serpent in the middle, but yeah, it looks like the trophy that we see in the trophy room for Quidditch. And then finally, over here, we have got another door opposite the main entrance door. And this one, again, doesn't lead to anywhere. It is just a regular brown door with one of those small door window inserts, and that's just clipped in place, but it is static, a bit like the Hufflepuff Common Room. And then we've got a large table over here with a chandelier. This just uses a 6x6 round plate in black. And then this detail here, which I might move slightly. So there's a slightly odd moment, which I've never quite understood in Chamber of Secrets, where Draco picks up a present, says, "Is this yours?" And when Harry and Ron, disguised as Crabbe and Goyle, say no, he then pockets it. And it's shot really significantly, as if it's going to be some big clue that matters later. And then it never comes up again. So maybe they're just showing that Draco's, you know, not very nice and steals people's presents. But yeah, it's just a couple of pieces representing that. So maybe I'll put that in Draco's hand. Another inkwell with one of these brilliant plume pieces in dark green here, which I was really happy to find existed. And then this is just a representation of a cup or something like that on the table. The chandelier, if that's what you want to call it, above the table, it just uses some cones in trans yellow. And then it uses one of these modified 2x2 round plates with the 4 bars that stick out. And it's just secured in place with a 3 long bar and some hollow studs. And then it's quite difficult to find, to see rather, so maybe I'll try and position it like this. You should be able to just see, in fact, let me remove this to make it easier to see. You should be able to see some glowing green there. Now that is a representation both of a feature found in the films, but it's also meant to show that the Slytherin Common Room is either below the lake or at the level of the lake, and it's got that kind of green light bleeding into the room. So that is just a stack of 1x1 and 1x2 trans green bricks, and then I've used some 1x1 round bricks, and then those kind of scroll bricks at the top to form arches. So yeah, that really completes the Slytherin Common Room. It's quite a lot of detail, quite a lot of pieces, but I think it's worth it overall because I think I've managed to pack a lot of detail in, and yeah, pretty happy with it. Final thing I want to do for now within the actual Common Room itself is just pop a few figures. So I've just got Crabbe and Goyle, or rather Harry and Ron as Crabbe and Goyle from the Polyjuice Potion Mistake set. So I'm just going to pop them in here. Doesn't really matter that they can't sit down. And then I've got Malfoy, who I know is wearing the wrong robes. He's wearing a pre-sorting set of robes, but I've run out of Slytherin torso, so I'll need to get myself another one of those. So we can put him there. So they are trying to get information out of Malfoy. What I might do though is I might swap out Crabbe's hair for Ron's hair, and then turn Goyle's face around so it's Harry. So it's that moment when they're just about to be discovered and they have to run away. But anyway, there we go. That is them in the Common Room. If I manage to get my hands on some other Slytherin minifigures, then I will add them in there as well, just to populate it and make it look nice and busy. There's one last element. You'll probably have noticed that there are some exposed studs here, and that's because I removed this part so we could see into things a little more easily. And this just goes on the top here. It basically just uses the longest plates that exist and that I could find in the right colours to make a nice strong support for the clock tower and clock tower courtyard. Speaking of which, let's spin this round and we'll move back just a little bit. So this is the outside, and this is the kind of aesthetic change that I was going for. So I've tried to keep the colours to olive green, regular green, bright green, dark tan and dark green. So trying to keep the colour palette a little bit more muted, and trying to be a bit more reserved on what parts I use. So for plants, I've just used the leaf piece and then the stem piece, and then a variety of slopes and tiles for the rest of things. And I think it makes things look a little bit more sensible, but it also gives it more of a I don't know how to describe it, more of a kind of unified aesthetic. So I'm going to go over the rest of the castle and put similar designs in there to make sure everything makes sense. Right now, the moment of truth as we actually try the stuff that goes on top of it. So first things first is the clock tower courtyard, and it's very easy to locate this because this is the continuation of the turret in the corner. So you just locate that there, and you can see I've just left some, these are 2x4 jumper plates here, and those are just used to secure things in place. So that goes there, nice and easy, it all lines up. Even just suggested a little bit of the continuation here. You can see it overhangs slightly, but as that's at the back, I'm not too worried about it. And then we have the clock tower itself, which has to go on second because it slots over part of the courtyard, and that just goes there. So I will just pull the camera back a bit more. Yeah, that fits on there perfectly. And as you can see, there is a space just here for where the wooden bridge will go. And I will just show you that in a second. But yeah, there we go, the clock tower and the clock tower courtyard on top of their little bit of exposed terrain with the Slytherin Common Room inside. So final thing to do is just to get this in place on the shelf with the wooden bridge and the rest of the castle. And now everything's back on the shelf, and you can see how the wooden bridge and the Slytherin Common Room / rock base for the clock tower all fit together. So the base of the wooden bridge is only 4 studs wide, so it comes up to where that dark green slope is, and then this is where the actual Slytherin Common Room exterior continues. So I think I've managed to integrate it pretty well. It all still lines up, so you can go from the courtyard here through into the wooden bridge, and then through the divide there, and then you come out into the grounds, which I still need to do quite a bit of work on. So there we go, that is the Slytherin Common Room and the rock work for the clock tower all built. So next step, and the final step of rock work for the main castle, is actually going to be to build the bits underneath here, which I'm currently in the process of designing, because as I said in the previous video, that is going to be where the Philosopher's Stone challenges are moving to, and therefore I need to do quite a bit of design work to fit them in there, and also in that section of that castle, of that bit of castle I should say. I'm also completely redesigning all the rock work. There's a new grand staircase tower going in. I've actually finished the rock work design for the viaduct entrance building, so that will be coming out soon, possibly as the next video. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed. Thanks for your patience in coming back to watch my Hogwarts series after all this time. Hopefully I'll be able to get some more updates out for you a bit quicker this time. If you've enjoyed, please subscribe to the channel for future updates. Leave a comment down below, let me know what you think. Are there any ideas you can have for improving things? Leave a like on the video if you enjoyed, and I'll see you again very soon.